Hey, shalom, brothers and sisters. Welcome back. I thank you again for joining me today. Today, I want to talk about this booklet I got. I've had it for a while. I reread it like 2 days ago, studied it. I figured it'd be a good topic for me to present on here, and I'll let you be the judge. Of course, this is a book that never made it into the Bible. It wasn't canonized, and there's a reason for that. And it's called the Epistle of Barnabas, and it's supposedly written by somebody named Barnabas. It's right here, and this one's only like 44 pages long, introduction. But anyways, I was reading through it, and found out why it's not part of the Bible. And there's three schools of thought on the author of this. One, they think some claim, very few claim it's Barnabas, which was Paul's friend and companion. And number two, they think it's another one, and this was written like 2nd century, maybe 3rd century. And last one, they just think it's some imposter trying to pass himself off as, the follower of Yeshua. Anyways, I was reading through this, and anyways, page 24 here, chapter 10, spiritual significance of the precepts of Moses respecting different kinds of foods, and here he talks about, in the Old Testament, they did the old food laws, eat this type of meat, don't eat this kind, clean and unclean meats. But the author here is trying to say, what he's trying to distort in this is they weren't actually talking about eating, just say swamp pig meat. They weren't. What this author is trying to claim is stay away from people that eat it. Not, it doesn't prohibit you from eating it yourself. This, for some reason, just says stay away from people that eat pig swine. But that's not biblically accurate. It was more or less, clean and unclean meats is, for health, for your health and preservation of life, longer lifespan. And then I went over and found something else, and it was let's see, chapter chapter 15, the false and true Sabbath. And I'm going to read this one to you. Further also is written concerning the Sabbath and the Decalogue, which the Lord spoke face to face to Moses on Mount Sinai. And sanctify ye the Sabbath of the Lord with clean hands and a pure heart. And he says in another place, if my sons keep the Sabbath, then I will cause my mercy to rest upon him. The Sabbath is mentioned at the beginning of creation thus, and Yahweh made in 6 days the works of his hands, and made an end of the 7th day, and rested on it, and sanctified it. Attend, my children, to the meaning of this expression. He finished in 6 days. This implieth that the Lord will finish all things in 6,000 years. For a day is with him 1,000 years, and he himself testified, saying, behold, today will be 1,000 years. Therefore, my children, in 6 days, that is 6,000 years, all things will be finished. Now, that part, that's not the one I have issue with, or the scripture don't have issue with. And he rested on the 7th day. This meaneth, when his son coming again shall destroy the time of the wicked man, and judge the ungodly, and change the sun and the moon and the stars, then shall he truly rest on the 7th day. Moreover, he says, that shall sanctify it with pure hands and with a pure heart. If therefore anyone can now sanctify the day which Yahweh has sanctified, except he is pure in heart, in all things we are deceived. Behold, therefore, certainly then one properly resting sanctifies it, when we ourselves, having received the promise the promised wickedness no longer existing, and all things having been made new by the Lord shall be able to work righteousness. Then we shall be able to sanctify it, having been first sanctified ourselves. Further, he says to them, your new moons and your new Sabbaths I cannot endure. You perceive how he speaks. Your present Sabbaths are not acceptable to me, but that is which I have made, namely this, when giving rest to all things, I shall make a beginning of the 8th day, that is, a beginning of another world. Wherefore also we keep the 8th day with joyfulness, the day also on which Yeshua rose again from the dead, and when he had manifested himself, he ascended into the heavens. Now this is a clear-cut twisting of scripture right here. You know, the Sabbaths and everything, I can't endure them, and anyways, I want to share, your present Sabbaths are not acceptable to me, stuff like that. But this person, whoever wrote this, see, he only wrote a couple little small scriptures. He was picking, what suited his teachings or whatever. Because I've heard this before, back in 2nd century and on. I've read other books and articles about, even the Catholic Church trying to say, well, it's not the first day of the week, it's the 8th day of the week. That's when the real Sabbath is, But I'm going to go to Colossians. If you follow me along, Colossians, it's going to be, I'm going to start out with it's chapter 2, 16, but I'm not going to read all the way to 23. I'm going to read selected scriptures here. I mean, just go ahead and follow along with me and check up on me too. Let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink or in respect to any holy day or of a new moon or the Sabbath days, which are a shadow of things to come, but the body is of Messiah. Let no man beguile you of your reward in the voluntary humility and worshiping of angels, intruding unto those things which he hath not seen, vainly puffed up by his fleshly mind. So yeah, don't let nobody fool you, like possibly this author of this book here. And not holding the head, from which all the body by joints and hands having nourishment ministered and knit together, increased with the increase of Elohim. Wherefore, if you be dead with Messiah from the rudiments of the world, why, as though living in the world, are you subject to ordinances? So right here, it's not really talking about commandments and Sabbaths. It's ordinances. What kind of ordinances? Here, I'll show you. Touch not, taste not, handle not is what they're talking about. This ordinances, this group, these, and right here it says it on verses 22, which all are to perish with the using after the commandments and doctrines of man. He's talking about Judaism, the Pharisees and everything. There's strict rules here. It wasn't in the commandments. It's what they were saying. You cannot wash pans a certain way. You had to put shoes on a certain way. You couldn't sit down on a toilet and think of anything holy. You couldn't walk so far on a Sabbath, things like that. That's what it's getting at. The Sabbath itself is not bad. It's just when you're being judged. You're being judged by the Pharisees and the scribes and everything. That's what was bad. They were making the Sabbath a burden. It was making it a burden on people. And that's what, Yeshua come back, to teach the commandments are enforced. The Sabbath was made for man. Man was not created for the Sabbath. That's what, and, the author of this book, I don't know, he just selected one verse, two little verses or something, and it didn't add up, And 23 here, verse 23, which things have indeed a show of wisdom and will worship and humility and neglecting of the body, not in any honor to the satisfying of the flesh. So they're satisfying the flesh, carnal minds, things like that, and now you know why this book here, this Epistle of Barnabas, wasn't included in the canon of the Holy Scriptures. I mean, it's an ancient document. It's worth something, I mean, as far as historically, but it has no merit and no meaning. Sure, and most of that book, he quotes, scriptures pretty faithfully. He does, and it looks, on the outside, it looks good. It looks true, meaningful, and enlightening. But that's how the devil works too, He says scriptures and he puts truth and error together, He tries to trick people. And you got to be wary about that. You got to watch out for stuff like that. And I hope this has helped you out. And if you don't have the Epistle of Barnabas, if you ever come across to use one, you want to buy it and check it out, be my guest. But just check out the Holy Scriptures and let me know what you think about this. The Colossians 2:16, whatever. And I just thought it was my duty just to present this case to you. And I thank you again for joining me, and please give me a big thumbs up. No, give me 2 big thumbs up this time. Hit that notification bell, and appreciate if you subscribe. And also, feel free to watch my other videos. And until we meet again, thank you, peace out, and shalom.